Welcome back into Sports Drive once again. I'm Preston Moore. Joining me now is live in the studio, News Channel 10's very own Rylee Robinson. Rylee, how are you doing today?
I'm good. Finally on this side of the table again. I love it.
It's interesting to me because whenever I hosted this show for, I don't even know, I think it was maybe 3 or 4 times in a row over Christmas break while you guys were gone. And so I've gotten used to this seat, and then I think it might have been you or KJ, I can't remember. The first time I was on that side, it felt a little bit wrong because I was just thinking to myself, I've been hosting this show so often, and now I'm on the other side. I don't have to worry about all the things that come with being on this side of the desk. So it's always odd being opposite, especially because you've been on this side while I'm on that side more than once. So we're just kind of switching.
We just switch in and out. Yeah. It is what it is.
Well, I want to talk a little bit about your bread and butter, college football. I know that is definitely what you are most knowledgeable about. Especially your Alabama Crimson Tide, who won their bowl game 45-20 against Kansas State. What do you think? Kansas State was a top 10 ranked team. They played some Big 12 teams extremely well, and Alabama looked, they showed some weaknesses throughout the season more than once. You think about against Texas, obviously they were down early in that game, and then they lost to Tennessee. So they showed more weaknesses than we're used to having an Alabama team show, and Kansas State was showing more strengths than we're used to seeing a Kansas State team show. But Alabama came in, won by 25. It was really never a question. How do you feel about that game as an Alabama fan, as our resident Crimson Tide expert here at News Channel 10?
Probably the resident Crimson Tide expert in the Texas Panhandle.
All right, you guys heard it here first. If you have a claim, if you want to challenge Rylee Robinson for Crimson Tide expert of the Texas Panhandle, there's more than you think. I've met some other Crimson Tide fans.
I haven't.
I have. Well, I lived here for 18 years, so I had some time. But I can't say that I've met any with as much of a personal tie as you, given that you grew up so nearby and you're such a big SEC person. There's not a lot of big SEC people here. There's a few, but not a lot. But that said, Alabama came out and just kind of thumped Kansas State in a way that personally I thought it would be a closer game. I thought Alabama would come out on top, but I thought it'd be a little bit closer than it was. What do you think?
So that first quarter was kind of rocky there, especially Bryce Young, getting started. But, second, third to the rest of the game right there, obviously Bryce Young played like Bryce Young plays, and he carried that whole game, know. And you kind of mentioned a couple games Alabama went off on. Usually Alabama has one game, but they had a few this year that they just don't look like the Alabama Crimson Tide that they are known to be, the dynasty they've built.
Yeah.
So they had a couple of those games this year. We saw LSU, that makes me sick. And then Tennessee, but Tennessee was a very good program, at that point right there. So, again, Cotton Bowl, not Cotton Bowl, Sugar Bowl. Yeah, that was another good game with the Cotton Bowl. But anyways, Sugar Bowl, Alabama just comes out, like I said, kind of close there. I think it was 10-7 at the end of the first. And then Alabama just took the reins over. I will congratulate, though, Bryce Young and Will Anderson Jr., playing. They kind of got the option to play because we know that they are declaring for the NFL draft after this season.
Right.
But I saw in a press conference, I think, after the game, Bryce Young was just like, this is my team, this is who I was with day in and day out. Yes, the ultimate goal a lot of times, is to play in the NFL when you are a football player and play Division I college like that. But at the end of the day, these are my brothers. This is who I spent every day with. This is who got me to this point. I wasn't going to leave them. So kudos to both of them. They definitely were a big factor in that game. Bryce Young, especially being the MVP there, coming back in those last 3 quarters to really excel that game. So roll Tide.
Yeah. You talked a lot about Bryce Young. I think, as far as I know, and you're a much bigger college football person than I am, obviously a much bigger Alabama person than I am. In my lifetime, I have not seen Alabama have a quarterback like this. There's been, obviously a history of winning at Alabama over the years, but Bryce Young seems to be the best quarterback to come out of Alabama in quite some time. They're talking about potentially him being, a clear shot, a clear favorite for number 1 pick in the NFL. What do you think his NFL chances are? Because a lot of players will be really good in college, especially quarterbacks. You'll see a lot of great quarterbacks in college. The NFL is a completely different game. Those defenders are a step above. how do you think Bryce Young is going to fare in the NFL?
I mean, I think we've seen a few, first round, first pick, draft picks, kind of like Trevor Lawrence. I mean, I know the Jaguars are kind of, they beat the Cowboys.
Now, Trevor Lawrence has looked really good the last half of the season.
And we've seen Justin Fields kind of, get up there. Joe Burrow.
Time.
Yeah, it takes time. But then we also have seen some flukes.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's just no lie.
Yeah.
But then you've also seen quarterbacks who aren't that first round, first pick, whatever, that are the absolute best. I mean,
Dak Prescott. I don't know who said that. Somebody in the room mentioned Dak Prescott, Offensive Rookie of the Year from the 4th round out of Mississippi State. Anyways, go ahead.
Okay, yes. Dak Prescott being one of those. But, yeah, as I said, I do think Bryce Young has a really good NFL career ahead of him. He works hard. As you said, Alabama always has that dynasty of being good. They've produced some really good quarterbacks, but I will agree, Bryce Young, being the first out of there to win the Heisman as an Alabama quarterback. And, you have Tua Tagovailoa doing really great down there.
Picked it up.
Mac
Absolutely.
Jones, so roll Tide, Jalen Hurts.
Yeah.
For the Eagles, your other favorite team?
I am not a fan of the Eagles, but I can't help but like Jalen Hurts. I hate that I like him, but he's a very likable guy.
Yeah, so Alabama has produced really good quarterbacks, as we've seen over the years, but I do believe Bryce Young will have a great NFL career, but clip this tape in about 10 years when he doesn't. And
we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, it's kind of just iffy.
Yeah. Well, we'll be right back on Sports Drive. We've got a couple more minutes left. We'll be right back with Rylee to talk a little bit more college football, maybe some NFL as well, so stick around.